Alright, man, we're gonna just mess around here. Gonna show you something that was kind of a cool little thing for doing ghost notes on a snare here on the MV1. I'm gonna start a new project. Hopefully nobody will call while I'm making this. We'll see how it goes. We'll say this, man. While this is loading, the Verselab has vibe to it, man. I don't know how to explain it. I have some other devices. I have a MC707, have a 1010 Music Black Box, but this kind of Verselab has kind of quirky vibe thing going. There's still things I wish they'd fix and improve and stuff like that, but maybe they never will. Who knows? But it's fine as it is. It's you can still write grooves on it. So first thing I'm gonna do, get a kit going. I personally like. So I'm on the kit here. I went to section select. I'm gonna load a clip. That's kind of how I have saved off some kits. It's kind of the easiest way to just get going. Just checking my levels. There we go. Kit I made previously, all good. Got that going there. So what I want to show is something that's kind of cool, but here's the trick, man. If you're going to extend this to like a longer beat, right now I'm on 1 bar. You can tell you by the 1 dot. This has to do with snares, right? And I'm actually going to have, I think the way I did it before is I'm going to just TR some beats here on 5 and 13. Let me get the tempo set here. Here before I do that, I'll just throw 4 in the 4s here. Just try to get my tempo set. Sometimes with the 4 in the 4 helps. I don't remember what I would. I think like 94, that works. All right. One thing that would be cool if they would do. Metronome off, cool. It'd be cool if there's a keyboard shortcut to turn metronome on and off. You get that on the 707, which I really like, but it's cool. So anyway, so this works good for ghost notes on the snare. So what I like to do, what's kind of fun to do here, and here's the deal. I recommend if you're gonna do this, you can copy and paste this to you can either, let's say you wanted to do a full 8 bars or something. You could literally go through and do the setting on all steps of those 8 bars, but that becomes a beating. And you can actually copy and paste to other bars. That can work. What I found with drum tracks is if you copy and paste, you really kind of have to do it as your first layer, your first pad layer. Then you can copy and paste. If you already have kicks and other things and the rest of the beat filled out and you try to copy and paste, it gets all jacked up. So the copy and paste, although actually I prefer the method of copy and paste here to the 707. Anyway, you're better off to do this at the beginning when all you have is a snare. So just FYI. So I'm going to throw a beat on all these steps here. You're like, oh my god, this is crazy. What I'm trying to do is get random ghost notes that kind of start popping whenever. So I'm going to lay it all down here on my 1 measure. I'm going to go edit. And I'm going to go in here. I'm going to do velocity 30. Bring it right on down to kind of ghost note level. And then I'm going to go mute percentage 80. Which means most of the time, don't play the note, right? So now, same thing here. And this is why, like I said, it's just time consuming more than anything. 80 there, 30, 30. While I'm doing this, I'll just talk about kind of the Verselab in general. And oops, didn't do my other part. It's a fun box, man. I mean, I have the 707, and it's, as far as pure power and flexibility, obviously the 707 is more flexible, more ins and outs, send returns, scatter, faders. So it's got some things that the Verselab doesn't have, and it has kind of a song mode, but it's the song mode on it is a little less intuitive. You have to do clip chaining and stuff like that. So to me, the Verselab kind of has its good thing here. Actually, they can work together pretty well. So part of me wondered, like, should I get rid of one or keep one? Because I actually lately used the Verselab more than the 707. But the nice thing is they kind of extend each other. So let's say if I'm running into voice stealing on one of the devices, I could actually just put part of the voices on one, part of the voices on the other. Problem solved. So theoretically, between the two of them, you got seven channels on this one, 7 tracks on this one when you don't count the vocal, and the 8 on the other. So that's like 15 tracks. The other advantage of a way to use them together is that you can offload some of your samples. So since you have sample time limits on each one, they both have kind of the same sample limit, which is 6 minutes stereo, 12 minutes mono. What you can do is, and the vocals on the Verselab are going to take, they eat into that same pool. So if you want to do like either longer vocal samples, handle that on the Verselab, and or maybe like long guitar parts or bass parts, something like that, whatever. Then you could offload your other samples to the 707. So, which I want to kind of get into that workflow, and I may do a separate video on sampling guitars and stuff into the Verselab, because I feel like there's more videos on the 707. So, kind of want to give some love to some Verselab people, because it's kind of slept on, and sometimes it's kind of put in this niche of like only hip hop or something. And although I like hip hop beats as much as anybody, I'm also a rock metal guy at heart on some level too. So it's a little bit of all that going on. So anyway, just kind of going through again. Now you know why this is kind of tedious, because you're trying to do this on all the steps the same way. We'll end up with some great randomness, but hey, I think my AC just kicked off, if you heard that. I'm in Texas in August, so it's hotter than what out there. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We got this now on one pad. I'm gonna exit out here. Should be able to copy and get this going. So theoretically, so you can kind of hear the randomness of the snare now. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so we got that going. I'll just do 4 bars for right now. So now I can just record in my my kick if I want. Here, just for S and giggles, we'll go and set the metronome on. So. Not the most inspired kick beat I've ever done in the world, but you get the idea. So, then you get that in some hi-hat, got that going on. Now I will say this one thing I love about the Verselab. The pads feel better than the 707. Like, I would show you the 707, which is right over here to my left, but the pads are like smaller and more spaced out on the 707, and they're like not in the 4x4 grid. So I kind of dig that. I'm gonna throw a bass on here. Like you're like, why are you doing it on the kick track? Honestly, I rarely use these as kick, snare, and hi-hat, so I try to save the melodic tracks for things I might actually want to do, like arpeggiator stuff for. So a lot of times my actual bass will go on the kick track. So we'll do stuff like that. There's different ones you can use. Like, sorry about my dog sneezing. He's got a little thing going on right now. Where was that one bass I was looking for? Which, by the way, that's another thing. There are different basses on the Verselab than there are on the 707. Interesting tidbit. Oh, there we go, round bass. Kind of dig that one. And even though there's a couple, quirky things on here, by the way. If you try to go, for instance, octave up on the bass channel, you can't do it. Or like any of these stuff here, you can't go octave up. So if you're gonna play the pads, be aware of that. Now I actually have a MIDI keyboard up here higher, which I kind of dig using more. So yeah, we'll get a little something going on the bass track here. Again, we'll kind of give myself a few measures to work with. We'll get that going too. Yeah, we'll go down world history. Best thing ever. But, it's fun. One thing I dig about the Verselab, though, these basses, they've kind of all got a little bit of vibe to them, With the 707, the basses kind of feel more like, I don't know, man. It's more techno-y, EDM-y, kind of edgy basses, But if you want kind of the fatter bass for either hip-hop or maybe reggae or something, or, I feel like the MV1 kind of has some stuff built in that's pretty good doing that sort of stuff. So maybe I'll do some reggae down the road. I happen to love me some reggae, man. Yeah, man. But yeah, man, so got that going. So now I'm gonna do this on the hi-hat track. What the heck? You pick for those that don't know, you pick a track. It's got kind of its built-in deal that you can like go into pick another sound. In this case, I'm gonna go to my sound files. I actually have a bunch of like piano and organs from other stuff on here. Let's see. Sounds alright. But let's see what else we got here. Maybe that's dope. I don't even know if I know what key this is. It's definitely centered on the D. Like kind of a D minor thing going. Kind of dig something like that. Yeah, my dog's walking around in the background. You heard it here first. All right. Out the volume level. I used to go through and like there's like feels like 4 different level places where you can go and like raise the levels up. But I've kind of recently just left it at default because I feel like it gives you a lot of room to bump things up, you know, because I think they default to 100 each here, and then the clips themselves, I forget if they start at 100 or 127, but you kind of have more room to play with there. So ghost notes, it's kind of cool, man. They sound like a little, you know, it's like you have a delay on, but you're not even using a delay, so that's dope. Digging that. So if we go here, we're gonna find another sound file. Warm EP. Really want something for like, where's that script? I call that almost the reggae skank part, but you know, whatever you want to actually call it. Something like that, yeah. Clear a sequence, since we're here, we might as well do it. Clear in the sequence button. Clear phrase, right? And I'll try that one more time. Verselab that I don't think you can easily do on the 707. I don't really know a solo method on the 707. I like this. So I want to check that kit. Shift, mixer. Just that track. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Dig that. My AC kicks back on. Oh, a lovely sound. It's back, man.